Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Jim and James. James, I am ecstatic today. A couple of reasons. One, you could tell that the Florida studio got a little upgrade. This is not a virtual background. This is real life.
It looks fake, though. The way you're lit up, it makes it look like it's a virtual.
I'm telling you, it's real. I could almost touch it. Do you see the
tell you what, you win a couple of awards, and all of a sudden, you get a real background. That's what happened.
I threw some money in the budget. I got $14.85. So anyways, the Florida studio has had an upgrade. One. Two, we were at AGA recently and saw my buddy Nate from AY McDonald, and we had a great conversation which leads us in today. And then three, we're talking about some folks that might know Lake Okoboji, Spirit Lake, Iowa.
Oh, wow.
That I have been there. I have been boating on that lake. So with that, I'm like a kid in the candy store right now, James. So I'm going to lead it over to you to bring in our guest for us.
Yeah, you should have said this is Coffee with Jim and James after hours.
We'll
get to that later. Or after dark. I don't know.
After dark.
Hey, Doug and Kelly are joining us from AY McDonald, and I can't do y'all justice of bringing you in, so I'm going to let you bring yourself in. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Just a little brief introduction of myself. Doug Roush, I'm Director of Product Management here at AY McDonald. I've been here for about 8 years and work with everybody in the product management area, including our innovation department.
And I'm Kelly Breitbach. I'm our Innovation Product Manager. So I'm one of the crew on Doug's team. And I've been at AY for 5 years, been in innovation for 15 or so years, in a totally different capacity than today. So went from a much more technology-based environment to a manufacturing environment. So it's pretty fun.
James, this innovation springboard that we're on right now, I'm going to let you handle that because I know you love to nerd out on innovation.
I'll geek out on it.
If I don't get a word in edgewise, I'll never get one in because I'll be sitting over here like this. Yeah. But anyways, let's keep this real. Let's keep it on track. I do want to ask a very high level question for our audience members out there. And the audience goes global. So it's not just North America, United States and such. It's global. And so the name AY McDonald and the industry, give our viewers and audience a little bit of a taste of what has made AY McDonald so successful as you folks are in the industry.
AY McDonald's a company that was formed in 1856. So, we're over 165 years old. And one of the things that is resounding amongst everybody here at AY really is that, our motto is customers to boss. And you ask anybody here, whether it be in the offices, on the factory, in the foundry, at any one of our manufacturing facilities, they understand that that's our main objective, is to make sure that the boss is satisfied. And that's the thing that has really made us successful. But that along with the model that AY McDonald himself founded back when he started the business, and his whole thing was that we're going to make good products and sell them honestly. And we hold to those values, even 165 years later. And the thing that kind of separates us, I think, a lot of times is that we're a family-owned company, and it's a company that can make decisions quickly. Mm-hmm. But we make decisions based on what's going to allow us to be here in the next 165 years. So we're going to make those decisions that are going to be great for the industry, great for us, and we can make those pretty quickly. But really the main objective behind everything that we do is really that the customer is the boss.
I like that, James. I have to geek out a little bit because one of the products that they do make, well, in my world, being a 20-year gas guy, there's a product, a meter set, a riser that has a bypass on it. So if a meter needs to be changed,
Holy cow. What kind of show are we running here?
It's crazy here. It's crazy.
Our next guest. Yeah.
It happens, right?
Y'all are in between the dog trainer and.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before I was so interrupted by the zoo over here, you're able to use this meter set and bypass gas and drop a meter without having to shut off the home.
Yep.
So in other words, you can take off a meter, put a new one on, purge it, do all those things, get it where you're going without having to go back into the home. Yeah, industry average is like $70 to have a home relight, plus just the risk of walking through the front door and going to the areas to do all that. I've known that for years, and Nate and I actually geeked out a little bit at AGA in Orlando over that little bit. So just want to give a shout out to that technology.
And one of the nice things about that is a gentleman by the name of Tony Althouse was our previous sales rep throughout the United States, national sales manager. And he's one who kind of basically started that whole concept. Basically, it was on a bar napkin. And drew it out and kind of said, okay, here's what we should do. And here's a great way to go ahead and do a bypass technology. And from there, that's another thing that AY somewhat, is I think different than a lot of companies throughout whatever industry you're talking about. And, the other thing that we have hanging out throughout our walls throughout AY here is that none of us is as smart as all of us. And, that's a perfect example of that philosophy.
Yep, absolutely. It's you guys do some really great things, and it's great to see them in the industry. And
I love a good bar napkin story. I do some of my best work on bar napkins.
Oh yeah,
Coffee with Jim and James was done on a bar napkin.
A coffee napkin. We were at work. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
What a segue, right? We're all professionals here. We were talking in the pre-show. There was an announcement, I think while we were at AGA maybe, or really close to it, about a new podcast starting. And I'll try not to say it wrong because I always say it wrong.
Come on, James.
AY, it's right there on the screen, AY After Hours. Tell us a little bit about the idea behind that, how people and how often they can see it. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we have a number of shows already, kind of what they say is in the can as far as already filmed. And what we try to do is we try to hit as many different industries. We look at 4 different industries: pumps, or natural gas pumps, plumbing, and waterworks. And we try to spread it across each one of those industries as far as the podcasts are concerned. And one of the things that we do is we launch it every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So every Wednesday there'll be a new podcast of AY After Hours, and we just try to get different aspects of the different industries. And the way it kind of started was for some reason I've been known as the voice of AY to a certain extent, because anytime something alarm goes off or something here like that, or you call in, it's my voice that's on the telephone. And so they thought that since I had the voice to do it, I also had the face to do a podcast. They were sorely mistaken. Yeah. So we started off, and they asked me to do a podcast, and I said, yeah, whatever needs to be done.
You said, what's a podcast?
Yes, I kind of did that too. But innovation is a big part of our business, and they said, so why don't you go ahead and interview Kelly so you can talk about the innovation and give people a little bit of insight as far as that's concerned. I said, great idea. So the very first show that we did, or podcast that we did, never got aired. Amen. Because that was AY After Hours with Doug.
Mm.
And so
that was After Dark with Doug.
Yeah, it was right after Dark. Yeah, exactly. So that went so well that they decided to include Kelly as part of the as a co-host. And so now it's AY After Hours with Doug and Kelly. We keep fighting over whether or not it should be Kelly and Doug. No, it's Doug and Kelly. Exactly the way it's spelled out.
Yeah, I think I was coming on as the first guest. I was excited about it. I'm always just, waiting to promote innovation. Anytime I can talk about it, I'm super excited. Mm-hmm. But then I think, okay, I did my 1 episode. I'm finished. Yay. And then I get the call. We think we want to change this up a little bit. I'm like, oh, now I'm really committed to this process. So, but it's been fun.
And Kelly and Doug, it is a commitment. And James and I started this back in April of 2020, and he did the same thing. James is the mastermind behind it, and he goes, "I got this idea; it'll be great." And I'm like, "Wonderful! What do we have to do? What's a podcast?" I'm like, "What do you mean video? I don't talk to TV screens; it doesn't work well."
Right.
And it evolves and it enhances it, and the comfort level comes in. And it's fun that you guys are being brave about it. To be very sincere about that, it takes a lot. When you have a dog bark, or I should say, 3 dogs bark, that could really throw you off. And a year ago, we would have shut down, and all heck would have broken loose, and I would have put dogs in a. Well, never mind. I won't say what I would have done. Anyways, but to that point, kudos to you, James and I.
There's a lot of work in it. Yeah, we have a support group that you guys are more than welcome to join.
Yeah, we might need it.
It is really funny how much work goes into it, and what you can learn from each other. It sounds like y'all are going about it the right way. It's how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time for sure. Getting those in the can. We sound like industry professionals, right?
Yeah.
I know. Well, one of the things that helps us out, we are able to utilize some of the marketing crew here at AY McDonald. They do a fantastic job. And, they do make it easy for us. There's no doubt about that.
Same. We saw some of them run it like they're smiling off camera going,
yes,
they are. That's our moment.
They keep us in line.
Let's talk about, go ahead, Kelly, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think too, for us, Doug and I are both very informal people. And so we weren't going to do this if it wasn't going to be fun. And if the focus wasn't outside of AY, really. I mean, our goal is to tell the stories and meet the people that we serve, not necessarily we're so great, more what makes each industry work? Who are those people?
Yeah.
And try to get closer to the human, more emotional side of an industry that doesn't always show you, what that looks like. So it's been fun so far. We've got some really, really awesome people.
Yeah, and that's the fun part about it. We've started to get back to conferences, and it's been wonderful seeing Nate and I running into each other and just catching up after some years of not seeing each other. And I think you hit on a very good point though when you talked about having fun and bringing some interesting topics, subjects, whatever. I mean, nobody wants to go on and see an Energy World Net 45 commercial. That's a click. But when you have fun and you bring some interesting people on and have some good dialogue, even if they don't watch it, a lot of people tell us that they have it on this screen over here, just in the background. And, that's wonderful. I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah. We have a lot of our sales guys actually tell us that they listen to it driving down the road. So, they don't watch it. They listen to it driving down the road. So.
Same. We get a lot of that feedback. Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's go back to the innovation topic and really kind of how it's grown the company. And I know that we'll get into deeper of the Innovation Center and things like that, but tell us a little bit of what that's done for AY.
I mean, you were a huge part of starting innovation at AY, Doug. So about 5 years ago, just a series of different events kind of led to a pitch of let's start an innovation center. Let's have it offsite. Let's start with a small team, but that small team will be 100% focused on innovation. Part of the reason they're offsite is so those engineers can't get pulled into the day-to-day. And that has worked really well for us. We operate out of a small facility. I joke it's next to an upholstery shop. We're a little hard to find at times, but there's purpose in all of what that looks like. So it's been a really exciting ride so far. I think in my past life, one of the hard lessons I learned is if you don't have support from the top down for innovation, when things get ugly or things get a little sketchy, you might be the first one to go. You might be seen as unnecessary or expendable. But if you have that support from your leaders, they'll stick through the failures and those tough times. So, and you can feel it at AY. Mm-hmm. We have that support, which we're expected to fail, pick ourselves up and keep going. Not like you screwed up and you're out.
Yeah, little freedom, freedom to fail never hurt anyone.
Yeah, freedom to fail, and she just said expectation to fail. That's interesting. James and I were just on a leadership call not too long ago and talking about the idea of putting yourself out there and trying things and saying, wow, that didn't go too well for me. And that's okay. That's an all right thing to say, but next time I could try this, that, or the other thing, and we could maybe get some different results. So I like that expectation to fail. Thank you for enlightening me today with that one.
And one of the things too is that when you're talking about as far as the innovation, and you can continue on with something, and if you're really not thinking about, okay, it's okay to fail, and you continue on with something that's going to fail at the end, you've just wasted a lot more time than you ever needed to. Than if you're willing to say, okay, that's not going to work, let's move on to the next thing that is going to work. And so that's a huge benefit.
Yeah, we've had a couple of gut checks. Like, I truly believe if you're running an innovation program and you haven't had some painful failures along the way, then you're not doing it right. You are not pushing yourself enough. You're not taking enough risks. And we've had a couple of gut checks along the way where we just stopped what we were doing and said, let's look at our portfolio. Let's look at our pipeline. It was like, safe. Okay, time to shake things up. We're just, we're getting a little too comfortable. So I think you have to do that when you are in innovation.
Yeah, and we have an innovation department within our group as well on the product side that spearheads a lot of the same type of activities. But obviously, we're a technology company, a training company. It's a little bit different, but we have a group that I call them the Dream Team because that's kind of what they do. It's amazing. Set up user groups and work with them as well. It's really changed how we do business for sure. Jimmy, you want to tack on anything? We went down a dark path without you. You going to join us?
I'm good. You guys are all geeking out on all this innovation stuff. You know me. I'm a nuts and bolts type of guy. But I do want to. No, I'm joking. I mean, I really do. It's fun to watch that, and it's fun to see people do that, and it's fun to see the risk and the rewards and the cool things that we're bringing to our industry, because our industry is always looking for ways to be more productive and safer. Those are just a few of the keys. Reliability, all those things are so important to at least the oil and gas world and the natural gas world. But at this part of the show, we normally throw it to you guys, and it'll be almost a continuation of that innovation spirit, where we give you the stage. Everybody's watching you folks now. Is there one word, one phrase, one sentence? Pressure. No pressure. No pressure.
This is just an award-winning podcast.
Did we talk about the SGA award-winning?
Have we talked about that yet? No.
I was going to say, can you kind of fill us in a little bit as far as the award-winning podcast?
We voted internally the best podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
We got 2 votes. We
won unanimously. No, we did win the Corporate Communication Award for Southern Gas Association this past 3 weeks ago in Charlotte. We were there. We didn't expect to win, I'll be honest. We were very blessed and very thankful. So now it's a joke that we bring it up.
Yeah, that is.
It changed us.
Yeah.
We're in the presence of celebrities.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys have people who take care of stuff for you guys now?
We do. They're just off camera as well. This is basically a mentorship program we're in. No, I'm just kidding.
The veterans taking the rookies.
Hey, I'm kidding. You're absolutely right.
100. Listen, there's a lot of episodes under our belt. I will say that. So when you struck a chord at the beginning of how much work it really goes into it behind the scenes with everybody involved, so much work that we're very proud of. But there's a lot of time and effort into it.
There is. But wait, before you answer, before I forget, I was supposed to say hi to Toby. You guys know Toby from Wisconsin, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Toby and my wife, Tammy Bomia, Tammy's from Clock Spring on Rye, they've been buddies for years.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're always talking on the phone about this pipeline and that or whatever they're talking about. So I had to give a shout out to Toby. And I think the words were epic and industry icon. Toby is a industry icon.
I don't
his ego expanding.
Wait, hold on. I'm assuming that Toby gave you those words to say.
Oh no!
Bio.
I mean, those are my words, Toby. You would never have influenced me with Tammy this morning to try to get me to use those words. Never.
Well, and I know, and I heard you also mention that you talked with Nate, but that's probably not something that you can talk about over the podcast. I know Nate.
We'll never speak of it again. Let's keep
I hear you.
That's after dark, if you know.
Yeah.
No, after hours, sorry.
After hours. Anyways, let's bring this back, folks. Give the audience a word, a sentence, a topic that you want to leave them with that they can, give it all away to them. Thought leadership, AY McDonald, doing the great things you do. What would you want to leave folks with one thought?
I think for me, we opened the Innovation Center and the Innovation Department, and we were about a year and a half in, and we hit the pause button, and we decided to focus on our why. Who are we? What drives us? What's at the core of everything we do? And it came down to one simple sentence: is we care about people. And so we wrote it down on paper. Whenever you write something down, it becomes more real. It's, everybody's connected to it. And so our why was we care about people. We decided, how are we going to do that? We're going to provide innovative solutions. So really, I think for me, if we keep that at the core of everything we do, of course, a company wants to make money. They want to be successful. The sales guys want to sell things. But there is a man or woman at the end of all these products that has to use it every day. So if we keep that person, close to what we do, then I think everything else will figure itself out.
I like it.
And I'd say it's very similar to that. But I'll bring it back to kind of where I started from a standpoint of, there is somebody at the end of each one of these products, and that's who we call the boss. And because our customer is the boss, and that is, it's surprising if you ever go a day throughout the halls of AOI McDonald if you don't hear that, hey, customer is the boss. Here's what we're going to do, and that's a motto we live by. And so, innovation plays a big part of that, and I think it's important that that continues on and moves forward, because we want to provide solutions to our boss.
Man, the voice of AY.
The voice of AY.
Closing it out. I like
it. Doug does have that. Hello, welcome.
Hello, ladies. This is AY After Hours. I like it.
With Kelly and Doug.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kelly, she just got jerks there. Kelly and Doug.
Yeah. Oh.
Looky, Jimmy. I don't want to spoil your package over there, but thank you very much. Whoever's really in charge over there sending all these out. I see you.
Well, I tell you what, I'm in Florida. I'm 98 miles away from Cuba, so I'm down here. So it's gonna take a while for the packages to get here.
It's on its way.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking for it. Doug, Kelly, wait, let me reverse that. Kelly, Doug, I appreciate you guys taking the time today. We really do. It was fun catching up.
It's fun. We did it in one take.
Yeah.
Now we're so concerned.
It was, I tell you,
with the dog.
You have a Catahoula leopard, a border collie, and a 10-pound Shih Tzu that's just a ferocious little thing. You never know what I'm going to get over here.
Oh, yeah.
All I heard was leopard.
Yeah, I just heard one. Yeah.
It's not a real, it's Tiger King over there. He's in Florida, basically.
Oh, yeah. That'll be a whole other show. Audience, please connect with Doug and Kelly. Also, check out AY McDonald After Hours. Look for it. We can Google it. We can find it that way. There's 2 episodes out into the interweb. They're out there floating around.
Well, by the time this airs, there may be 7.
Yeah, by the time, we've already got enough for another 4. So
I hate to say this, but y'all's is going in the can.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh, I love that. And they normally you normally launch them Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. Central. Did you say?
Correct.
Is that the correct thing? Wonderful.
Wonderful. I like it. All right.
Anyways,
well, thanks for joining.
Thanks for being on the show today.
Appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. It's absolutely our pleasure. Audience, please, again, check it out. Do the right thing. And if you get on the LinkedIn platform, connect with them, ask some questions, follow, do the whole bit, explore AY McDonald. And James, I'm going to always end it with this. As I say, each and every week, we want everybody to stay safe and practice safe practices. And until next week, we will see you on Coffee with Jim and James. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.